Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. Well, you guys know, anyone who's watched our show for any amount of time knows that we're big fans of bananas here. I have them in my smoothies every day. We buy 40 to 80 pounds of bananas a week.
This is bananas.
And when we do that, we get funny looks from store employees and customers. Hey, isn't that dangerous, all those bananas, all that potassium, all that sugar? So I thought I'd do a little investigation here. Well, it turns out that the media has portrayed bananas to be the most dangerous fruit in the world.
Bananas are one of the most radioactive foods we eat.
What?
Yeah. When it comes to potassium on Earth, a pretty big ratio of those potassium atoms are radioactive isotopes. Get a good source of potassium around you. Eat 200 of these. 200 bananas is the equivalent of one chest x-ray.
Wow, sounds pretty scary.
I've had about 8 bananas a day because it's the only fruit that I can get which makes me even remotely feel like I'm eating. Can't I get potassium poisoning or something from that?
Yes, you really can.
Really?
You can get cardiac arrhythmias, so your heart rate can go in a funny rhythm if you have enough potassium.
How many bananas put me at risk?
We wouldn't normally recommend more than 1 or 2 a day.
Really? Having more than 2 bananas a day puts me at risk for cardiac arrhythmia? Is that for reals? Well, you know, I have like a dozen bananas a day.
A dozen?
A dozen.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
So,
I mean, you both look fit, but a dozen bananas at 100 calories per banana is 1,200. You're starting with 1,200 calories in that smoothie.
Smashing it in.
Plus,
look how thin.
Yeah. Seems like they're worried about me gaining weight from eating bananas, which seems kind of crazy. But what about health risks?
Nutritionally, one banana has about 450 milligrams of the major electrolyte potassium in it.
Uh-oh, here we go about potassium again.
The daily recommended amount of potassium that we should get, which is in quotations, because we don't really know how much we should get, but it's set at about 4,700 milligrams.
Well, it seems like the doctors are afraid for us to get over 4,700 milligrams of potassium. We really don't know what's going to happen to us. Well, let's take a look at what Dr. Greger of nutritionfacts.org has to say about how much potassium we really should get.
For much of the last 3 million years or so, we ate so many plants that we got 10,000 milligrams of potassium in our daily diet. Today, we'd be lucky to get 3,000. Less than 2% of Americans even get the recommended minimum adequate intake of 4,700 a day. 98% of Americans eat potassium-deficient diets, primarily because they don't eat enough plants.
That is sad and funny, because all us vegans get asked constantly, hey, where do you get your protein? Like, no one has protein deficiency, but 98%. That's sad. Almost every single person in America is deficient in potassium, simply because they don't eat enough plants. Yet, we keep hearing stupid warnings like this about bananas.
High potassium in your blood can cause everything from nausea and vomiting to muscle weakness to slow heart rate to cardiac standstill.
Cardiac standstill from eating bananas? You've got to be kidding. And here's where I'm really upset about these medical professionals on television. They're not being responsible to you, to the viewers. This is just complete crap. If you look at the reality of it, it's quite different. Bananas are not as high in potassium as they make it out to be. Our own government, the USDA, has a national nutritional database where you can look up how much potassium or how much of any nutrients in any food. Well, let's look up the top foods that contain potassium. Well, on the first page of results here, the top 25 results, no bananas. Well, bananas are not in the top 100 even, or even the top 1,000. You have to go all the way to the 65th page to ranking number like 1,610. That's pitiful. Bananas are not even the top 1,600 highest potassium containing foods. Here we are, bananas, right next to such potassium powerhouses like catfish and squash. And to show you how completely horrible the doctor's advice is here, let's take a look again at the top potassium-containing foods. Coffee is in the top 10 here, but do you see the doctors giving you these warnings? Don't drink coffee because it's so high in potassium you might get cardiac standstill?
Coffee. I love coffee.
Yeah.
Bananas are my favorite fruit.
Yeah.
I love bananas. I wish I thought it was healthy to eat 10, 20 of them a day because I love them.
And why wouldn't it be safe to eat 10 to 20 bananas a day, Dr. Stork?
It is. It's like taking a big potassium pill every day.
Well, given that 98% of Americans are deficient in potassium, wouldn't that be a good thing to be taking a giant potassium pill every day? Sounds like the right prescription, huh? And on the other hand, there are other doctors who are not quite concerned about the potassium levels of bananas. They're concerned about the high glycemic load and the sugars and the lack of fiber that will make you fat and sick.
The negatives, without a doubt, is that it does contain a larger amount of sugar and doesn't really have much protein or any healthy fat whatsoever.
Well, that's complete bullcrap. If we're not afraid to eat, like, say, 10 bananas a day, as I eat at least a day because I'm not afraid of getting a healthy dose of potassium, let's take a look here. I'm getting over a quarter of my recommended daily values of protein, which this jerk says there's none of. And he also says there's no healthy fats. Let's take a look here. A very nice ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, and there's also very little saturated fat and no trans fat.
So if you're eating a banana by itself, there's no doubt it could affect your blood sugar levels in a small amount, okay? So that is really the negative side of bananas is right there. Is if you're a person who's trying to lose weight, if you have sensitive blood sugar, that bananas in terms of fruit, it's higher on the glycemic index, which means...
What are you talking about, bro? If you're trying to lose weight, bananas are fantastic. I don't know anyone who eats, big quantities of bananas like we do who's overweight. It's pretty much unheard of. And you talk about this high glycemic index thing because there's so much sugar in there. Well, Dr. Oz just talked about that too, and I showed how that's a completely bogus argument.
So bananas, which I happen to enjoy, grapes, dates, these have high glycemic index. Why? Because the sugar from these fruits pours into your bloodstream, nothing's slowing it down. But over here, we've got citrus. You all heard of the grapefruit diet, right? Strawberries, kiwis. These actually let the body have sugar, but very slowly because they're full of fiber.
Man, this crap just really pisses me off. Again, let's look at the amount of fiber in 100 calories of bananas versus 100 calories of grapefruit. It's pretty much the same. Talk about no fiber. And let's look here. If you have 10 bananas, because we know not to be afraid of that, not to be afraid of the potassium, you have well over 100% of your RDA of fiber. So, not to make a pun here, this argument is complete crap. In doing the research for this episode here, I looked far and wide to try to find any credible sources to show that eating bananas is dangerous. And this is the same stuff I kept finding over and over again. The high potassium levels, which I just debunked, and this high glycemic lack of fiber argument, which I just debunked. I can't find anything. If you know of any other reasons why bananas are dangerous to eat, please post them down below so I can take a look at it. I really want to see, but as far as I can tell, there's no reason to have any fear about eating bananas. They're great sources of fiber. They're great if you want to lose weight. The potassium is negligible. You don't have to worry about it. So yeah, let me know if you know something that I don't, that why bananas are the most dangerous fruit in the world. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button and share it with a friend who thinks bananas are the most dangerous fruit in the world to be avoided always. And subscribe if you're new to get more from me and Angie here at Happy Healthy Vegan, guys. So until next time, screw what these dumb doctors are saying. Keep it carb, big time on bananas. Keep it carb.
Let me tell you, bacon and eggs for breakfast is okay because you got protein in it that's going to fill you up throughout the day.